You ready to do this thing? I do need you to sit for this. Thank you. Can you just stay right there? Ready, set. I want to talk about a thought that I've been having a lot lately, especially as the holidays are coming up, Halloween specifically, where it's a time of the year where we're dressing our pets up in costumes, taking them to events, taking photos of them. I have seen quite a bit of content swirling around about don't dress your pet up in a costume. It's not force-free. It's not fear-free. They don't want to wear the costume. They're uncomfortable in the costume. And maybe I'm an asshole, but for me, it brings up the thought of, do you also consider these things when you are buying collars for your dog? Do you consider if your dog actually wants to wear a collar or not? Have you ever considered that maybe your dog hates the sound of those little tags jingling around on their neck all day, or even outside when they're walking around, and that it might not be force-free or fear-free to make them wear a collar? If we're going to start to nitpick certain things, especially occasional activities like wearing a costume for a couple hours or for a photo or for an event, then I feel like we also need to start to talk about animal welfare in day-to-day activities like, does your dog enjoy the bowl that you feed them out of? Does your dog enjoy the house that they live in or the neighborhood that you walk them in? We need to consider all facets if we're going to approach it from a force-free or a fear-free standpoint. And I feel like this is where I kind of draw the line in my philosophy when it comes to animals and pets. I feel like it feels really good in a human sense, like to other humans when you're talking to them and you say, I'm a force-free dog trainer, or I'm a fear-free dog trainer. What does that really mean at the end of the day? Because are you genuinely force-free and fear-free down to every single aspect of that animal's life? Like the house you live in, would you make modifications or renovations to your home simply for your pet's well-being or need, even if that posed a serious financial issue for you? Because if we're being realistic about pet ownership and animal welfare and living with animals and these little cute furry creatures, not everything is going to be force-free or fear-free. Maybe my cats didn't like this cat tree that I bought them, or they don't enjoy the cat litter that I get for them, or maybe they don't like having a sibling or having another cat in the home. There are a lot of things that we force and impose onto them that I feel like, for me, it gets a little tricky when we start to claim certain things. I'm a force-free dog trainer, or I'm a fear-free dog trainer, because what does that genuinely mean? And just to be blunt, I feel like for a lot of people, it means that they're avoiding things that are socially not acceptable, like I'm not going to use a prong collar, or I'm not going to use an e-collar. Those are like the two main things that I hear when people say that I'm force-free or I'm fear-free. It comes to corrections and how some people choose to train their dogs, but are you force-free in every aspect that you consider that your dog doesn't like the collar that they might have on, or that your dog doesn't like walking on a harness? And I have to, before the people come in and they're like, of course I consider what kind of collar my dog uses. That's why we don't use prong collars and e-collars. Have you ever considered that your flathead collar that you're using with your dog also is aversive to them and that they don't enjoy that collar? Or have you ever considered that maybe your dog absolutely hates walking on a leash that is connected to you and that they do not have the freedom to free roam? Maybe your dog would absolutely prefer it if you were taking them out into the back country parts of your state and letting them run freely for 30 to 40 minutes every single day, rather than walking them on a leash around the neighborhood. Just food for thought. Again, maybe I'm an asshole. Maybe I'm just being annoying about it. But I feel like let people put fucking Halloween costumes on their animals if they want to. And maybe in the community, in all communities, balanced, force-free, fear-free, whatever you're into, yes, And that means mind your fucking business.